few words from Dvar Malchus, Parshas Balak, and the Geula Amitis V'Ashleima, as the Rebbe is constantly infusing us in our consciousness and mind and heart with the spirit, the consciousness of the Geula, with the spirit of the Geula, and that helps us to see the reality we live in through the glasses of Geula, and to see, which are very good prescription, these glasses, because they enable us to see what's really happening, that the Geula is really unfolding. It's a beautiful sikha, but I'm just going to give short points. The first point that the Rebbe is making is that every tzom has two aspects to it. All these fast days have the external aspect, which is some kind of a negative occurrence and energy, because of which the Jewish people and their relationship with God were compromised, and because of which we are fasting. And then there is the inner aspect of each tainus, each fast, which is the Geula. In fact, at the end of this talk, the Rebbe said that it goes so far that Dafka, those Yamim Tovim, the fast days, that will be turning to Yamim Tovim, as the Rambam teaches us, like Yud Zayin Tammuz, that its gematria is 17, which is tov, which is good. The mahus apnimis, the inner content of a fast day, and especially Yud Zayin Tammuz, the Rebbe says, is even higher than Purim in the time of the Geula. We know the Purim will remain at the time of the Geula, will still shine bright. The fast days when they will become Yamim Tovim, which means their pnimius, their inner purpose and aspect will be revealed. These Yamim Tovim, these special festive days, will even transcend the light of Purim. So now you can begin to appreciate what happens when Yud Zayin Tammuz occurs on Shabbos, which is this Shabbos. Bichlal Shabbos is connected with Geula. We say Yom Shekulo Shabbos. That's the Geula. It will be all Shabbos. No birurim, no labor, it will be all Shabbos. Just be one with Hashem. Partying all the time. But when Yud Zayin Tammuz happens on Shabbos, then what happens? The external aspect of the fast day is removed, because you're not allowed to fast on Shabbos. So what remains? The inner aspect of the fast day, the Geula of it, the Yom Tov of it, the joy of it. And therefore, the Rebbe says, realize the extra if every Shabbos is time of the Geula, is a taste of the Geula, that will be Yom Shekulo Shabbos. But when it comes with Yud Zayin Tammuz on Shabbos, you can already experience mamash the Geula Amitis V'Ashleima physically. The Rebbe says it's a mitzvah la'aneg et Shabbos, but especially on the Yud Zayin Tammuz, because you have to make special recognized choices and conducts and food choices that will indicate that there is no trace of a sign of mourning on that Shabbos. And therefore you have to go out of your way and take an extra measure to eat and drink delicious foods. Which really, if you are sensitive enough and reflective and present enough, these are not the words of the Rebbe, but around the words of the Rebbe, I want to say that the Rebbe says merumaz, it's hinted, you can maybe taste in that food of this coming Shabbos the taste of Shor Habar and the Livyasan, of the wild ox and the whale and the yain meshumar, the aged wine that we will have, the seuda with Mashiach, of Mashiach. You can experience it this Shabbos, at least a taste. And the Rebbe said it should continue to Motzei Shabbos, the seuda of David Malka Mashiach. Continue the party. Don't stop. It's an incredible party, the Rebbe says. And you can extend it, the Rebbe says, to all the 3 weeks. Bein HaMetzarim, the most stressful time of Jewish calendar. But when it begins with Shabbos and ends with Shabbos, I guess Tisha B'Av is Shabbos, and Yud Zayin Tammuz, the beginning of the 3 weeks, is Shabbos. Oh, that's a different story. The whole Bein HaMetzarim is now transformed completely. Usually, the Bein HaMetzarim begins in the weekday. And therefore, the 3 Shabbosim through the 3 weeks are constantly kind of catching up and fixing the negativity of the energy of the rest of the week, of the 3 weeks. But when the 3 weeks begin with Shabbos and end with Shabbos, then now the Shabbosim are not anymore so much about fixing the negative. It's about preparation and a preface and getting ready for the Geula Ametis Vashlema. That's what we should focus on the next 3 Shabbosim. And not only focus, that light is available to us. And they transform the 3 weeks entirely, says the Rebbe. These are not anymore 3 weeks of struggling with the negativity and mourning and fixing it and surviving it. It's about infusion of Geula. That these Shabbosim are, and that's the pnimius of this Yamim anyhow, and the fast days, and the Tisha B'Av. Geula b'ta'arasa. And by the way, Galus, I probably said it 1,000 times, but at my age, I don't remember what 5 minutes ago I said. So, the word Galus, sorry for bragging about my age. I'm sure there are people that are older than me that can remember better. or less, whatever. The word Galus, which is, V'chitzayin is a negative word, exile from ourselves, from God, it also means legalos, to reveal. And that's connected bichlal with Parshas Balak. I don't want to hold you more. I'm sure you're all already ready to move on. But that is especially emphasized in Parshas Balak, where the Geula, Mashiach, total transformation from curse to blessing, from darkness to light, from Galus to Geula, from destruction to the third Beis Hamikdash. Everything is there in Parshas Balak, which can never happen in the 3 weeks. Can only happen on Shabbos of the first of the 3 weeks, like this week, this year. Balak is above Galus. So, the to conclude, the Rebbe says, in addition to that, that happens every time we have that the 3 weeks begin on Shabbos. It didn't happen only this year, it happened before. But now the Rebbe says, when we are so close to the Geula, all this accelerates and adds in terms of the feeling of we really have to get ready for the Geula. And especially in our generation, says the Rebbe, when in Chodesh Tammuz, the inyan of the Simcha of Geula of Yud Beis Yud Gimel Tammuz was revealed, and that brought along the Shleimus, the completion of Afatzas HaMayanos Chutza, the last preparation for the coming of Mashiach. And the Rebbe says he is already the Shleimus of the spreading of the Torah and Yiddishkeit, and according to all the Simanim, we are in the last generation of Galus and the first of redemption. And the Rebbe said then, especially that year, which was Nun Aleph, and now it was Nun Aleph. Now it was already Pei Aleph and Pei Beis. So the Rebbe said that we have to make a special shturim. So now we are even further than that and closer to Mashiach, that now our focus is not to mourn anymore. That's not the focus. It's not about the negative and the destruction and the broken pieces anymore. It's not about that. The focus is to get ready to Mashiach, to get ready to the Geula. I was thinking there yesterday, I was listening to a Kohen. I said, well, they have to know what to do. Soon they'll come to Beis HaMikdash, they better know what to do, the Kohanim. And when we come to Yerushalayim, come to Beis HaMikdash, where you can go, we cannot go, what you have to do, what you not. One of the things that the Rebbe says is to make sure to learn the halachos of Beis HaBchira, of Beis HaMikdash, as much as we can, about the temple, about how we behave in the temple, all these things, to get ready. Knowing that it's a very relevant, these are relevant halachos. And this limud, the Rebbe says, has to be with a reflection of das, of awareness and consciousness, that we are all studying it and understanding as much as we can, but it's all supernatural, superlogical as well. It's all divine. We are preparing ourselves for a divine way of being. And that changed our nature, and therefore we should concentrate b'chlal in limud the Torah, but especially in Yanim v'Geula Mashiach, and especially in Yanim of Beis HaMikdash, and that will put us in the mindset of being there in Yerushalayim already, and Bezrat Hashem, the Tanya Shiur, the Nashim Tzidkanius of the Tanya Shiur, we will all dance together in a circle in Yerushalayim by Beis HaMikdash, and be ready, since we are taking the Rebbe's words to heart and wishing everyone a beautiful, gorgeous Shabbos with the experience of Geula and the Yontif. No mourning on Shabbos to anyone, including our dear Hasidah. Shabbos should be a special Shabbos, special salads, special dips, special cakes, special I don't know what, yain, wine and meat and fish. And wishing everyone to, this already should merge with the Seuda of the Livyasan and Shorabar, the Livyasan and the Yain HaMeshumar, and the Geula Amitis Vashlema with the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach in Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi VaMeshulash VaNitzchi. Everlasting joy to all of you. Good news, healthy news, beguf ubenefesh.